Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock and I'm Ned Kelly with your headlines from Solent Journalism. A Hampshire bus company, which covers many routes across Southampton, have announced that they are terminating their services. Many jobs are at risk and their services will end on February the 18th. Our reporter, Joe Lewis, has more.
The City Red bus company have recently confirmed they will be cancelling all routes in and out of the city from February. This is predicted to cause the loss of jobs and disruption for many commuters within the city. We are heading into the city centre to find out how the general public feel about this.
You used to be able to get buses all over the place. Now you've got to get 2 or 3 to one place, and a lot of the routes have been actually taken off, haven't they? I mean, I actually got a car, but you know, sometimes I've got to rely on buses, so it ain't good, is it? Especially for the older people as well, you know what I mean, who can't get about. They got to get dropped off like a mile from where they got to get to.
I'll get the bus quite, I work in town, so I take the bus quite a lot. So City Red closing down, it's the quicker route to town for me, so it's going to be a bit inconvenient, yeah.
It does affect me. I once got to Wolston to get pet supplies because I've got a frog. There's a specific bus I have to catch, and now I won't be able to do that, so that business isn't going to get my business. So I'm very disappointed about it.
After speaking to members of the public, everybody seems concerned about these new cancellations as their routes have been affected. But Blue Star are in talks to take over some of these areas and offer new routes to potential commuters. This has been Joe Lewis for Solent Journalism.
University staff from Solent University and the University of Southampton are taking part in a national strike. Members of the University College Union are manning picket lines and striking for better pay and work conditions. A union rep explained why they are taking action.
So what we're hoping to achieve, first and foremost, one is we are demanding a pay increase or a pay rise of 12.5%, and we want movement on all of the other associated issues on terms and conditions. Those include anti-casualisation, of course, and actually working hours, precarious contracts, and everything else that's associated with the pay, the gender pay gap and the bank pay gap.
For £5 per year, students can now collect regular food and other essentials from the newly opened food pantry at Solent University. The Students' Union launched the scheme after a survey by Save the Student revealed 82% of undergraduates are struggling to make ends meet. Our reporter, Megan Lentil, has more.
As the cost of living crisis continues, Solent University Student Union are finding ways to help students through the crisis. One way they're doing this is by opening the community pantry, where students can come and get essential items like food and sanitary products for a small fee each year.
Students can pay a yearly fee of £5 to gain access to the pantry. Once they have signed up, they can use the service once a day and take up to 5 items at a time. The pantry will be open on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays between 11 and 4. Student Union President Winston Aller told us more about the pantry.
So the SU Exchange is a community pantry by the Students' Union where students can pay an annual membership fee of £5 and then they can take 5 items from the food pantry every day. So the sabbatical officers thought this would be one of the best ways that we can help the students in terms of the rising cost of living crisis. It's one of the ways that we're trying to support the students so they don't have to choose between their well-being and health over their education.
As students are at the centre of this project, we spoke to some Solent University students to see how they feel about the pantry.
The students who are really struggling with the hospital and doing placement and everything, they would need something like that, and I think it's a good opportunity for a lot of students to come around, and it's a good social environment as well.
I knew about it when I first started, but it was closed, and this is the first time I see it open, so it's really exciting.
Megan Lentil for Solent Journalism.
After attending a similar incident a few weeks ago, firefighters from the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Fire and Rescue Services this week tackled a garage fire which stemmed from the charging of an electric van which was left on overnight. The crew was called to Church Lane in Winchester before 8 AM. Fire and rescue deployment ended shortly before 10 AM. Guidance on how to charge electric items have now been published on their website. On the topic of electric vehicles, Southampton City Council have announced tariffs for electric vehicle charging across the city. There are 47 charging units in 17 different locations. The charges will be introduced on December the 12th. Times are tough for many of us right now, and they are tough for businesses too. The annual Black Friday discounts can help, with sale extensions continuing this week. It's another way for shoppers to get shopping. So how have the people of Southampton been spending, or will they wait for the last-minute bargains? Our reporter Chloe Novicki has the details.
Christmas is approaching, so every penny matters. With the cost of living crisis, this year's Black Friday and Cyber Monday offer a chance to purchase Christmas presents with big discounts. We asked people in Southampton if they use this year's Black Friday to save some money or will wait until last minute.
I think I have to wait for the last minute. I'm not prepared yet.
Yeah, no, I used it for my Christmas shopping as I'm going on to Brazil over the holidays, so yes, I have used.
Basically, I was working on Black Friday, so I didn't get to enjoy the sales.
You know, we have been here shopping specifically for Black Friday and using the sales for Christmas presents.
Black Friday is considered to be one of the biggest sales events of the year. Those sales allow people to save some money during this cost of living crisis. Black Friday sales started a week before that Friday to allow people to spread their spendings and benefit from the best offers. Even though Black Friday is a chance to shop Christmas presents for cheaper, there will still be last-minute shoppers. This was Chloe Novicki for Solent Journalism.
Following on from our previous coverage of the floodings at Mercury Point student residence, the first of 200 students are finally now moving back in despite housing conditions being unprepared. After 2 months of staying in hotels, some of the students were given a 2 days notice to move back, even though the original move-in date was December the 12th. A couple of weeks ago, Solent Journalism featured a group of artists behind an amazing art project. Well, now 15 artists from Zest have opened up their latest exhibition to the public. Our reporter, Isabel Halstad, went to take a look.
Zest has launched their first exhibition after their renovation of the former Victorian pub. I spoke to some of the artists to find out about their artworks.
These are kind of experimental, loose experiments that I feel that like an exhibition like this that Zest puts on really allows to do, is just like throw something that's really new and kind of maybe in its early stages out there and just like get commentary on it. So yeah, and I think they're quite freeing in that. They're not trying to be anything that that's a bit forced. They're very much in the early stages of something I feel that's like really exciting for me.
Every artist has their own style and experiments with different materials.
Pieces, they draw by themselves, but they're controlled by the motors and they're controlled by vibrations under our feet. They're controlled by the train, they're controlled by the motion, the air currents, us breathing and everything, the motor that should be moving it, and everything like that. So, and it creates an unpredictable outcome. So we have no control over what it actually looks like. We have some control, but it's not finite.
A visitor of the exhibit shares his thoughts about the art and why he came.
I've got a couple of friends who I work with who've got exhibits here, so that's really interesting. And also, for me, it's quite interesting to come along and see things that are outside of your own discipline. So I'm not an artist, but it's always nice to come along and see what's happening.
Zest Collective is collecting money for their GoFundMe to raise the funds to renovate the electricity in the old Victorian pub. Bryn tells us more about what is being sold.
What we're doing tonight is we're selling merch from our local artists. So we've got some crocheted lemons, we've got some lovely glass pieces done by Jenny, we've got prints. These prints were actually done through workshops that we do. So what we decided to do was to say, well, what if we try and just sell it off and see if people want to buy it? And anything that's, all the profits that go from this go straight into the fundraising. So we're not for profit, we don't plan on making money off of these, but we just want people to take a little bit of the exhibition home with them.
The exhibition allowed Zest to welcome the public to see their creations this year and evoke conversations around them. This was Isabel Halstead for Solent Journalism.
Local pubs are expecting a surge of customers as England face Senegal in the round of 16 this Sunday at 7 p.m. Last night, England beat national rival Wales 3-0 in what was a convincing display in the last match of the group stage. That is all from us today. We will be back tomorrow with more. In the meantime, you can find all of our stories on our website at solentjournalism.co.uk. Goodbye.